Yeah. Hi. Hi, everyone. Just a sec, and we are live. Yeah. So, thank you. Thank you for joining. So, basically, today we have a great session for you guys. And in this, what we will be discussing is like maximize revenue from your non-buyers. So, basically, it's like how we get started with the buyers. Uh, like the first framework. So in this webinar we will be focusing on non-buyers to buyers. So that's the like first part of the journey. This is part of our broader network, like not broader framework. So in this webinar we will discuss like our customer value maximization framework, which is like PCC framework we call it. And second is like first time buyer funnel. First time buyer funnel is like how the first time buyers move across the funnel on e-commerce websites. And third is like communication, at what stage what communication is required. And fourth is handling non-labs, because this is one neglected area where a lot of brands drop the ball. So we thought to address this, and this has been really successful for us. Jumping into the PCC framework. So the first PCC framework uh, is starts with we look at the product. So this is basically our framework to improve your customer lifetime value. And how we approach this is we start at the product value maximization. So we look at the product value, then we move into like customer value. So we look at the customer and customer value, and we look at the stages of customer. And third is like communication part. So in product, it starts with the price, it starts with the bundling, like upselling and like a cross sell, average order value. It also covers the discounting framework. In second part is like customer value maximization, where we look at like all the four stages of customer. So one is like non buyer to buyer, buyer to repeat buyer, repeat buyer to recurring buyer, recurring buyer to lapsed buyer. Lapsed can come from any stage, but like that's say four stages we look at in terms of customer value maximization. Once we have this centralized, like the what we are supposed to do for the customer and what's the product attributes. So basically, then it goes into communication maximization, and where we look at like email, SMS, direct mail, and all the other channels. So basically, how it came about is that we were doing email marketing for a lot of brands and this, but eventually the success of email, what we realized, is not dependent on email. The success of email was not never about the design, never about it was about design and copy to an extent. But what I'm trying to say is that between a winner and a okay performance or a great performance, there was a common factor which was across the brands, which was like successful brands or like high performers tend to have very good offers. They tend to have like a lot of bundles, lot of cross selling. That's kind of module is dialed up. Also they have like multiple features like subscription or membership or loyalty program, or like they have surveys and this. So it's basically that if we do email just about the discount, then it will not perform, and it will always be about here's the deal, here's the deal. But once we have something more to promote in the emails, like either it's more about the like what kind of products we have, or like what kind of offers or deals we have for you. And a second is if we have a clear thought out plan at each stage of the customer. So how we look at the customer journey is customer value maximization starts with non-buyer. So every visitor is on the website is a non-buyer. So once they start, when they start on the website, so they start at the non-buyer stage. So what we are supposed to do at that stage, so that's the first step and the focus of this webinar. Second is like one time buyer. So if someone buys for the first time, then there tend to be a very high drop at for most of the e-commerce brands. 50% people will not move from non-buyer to buyer, and out of buyers, first time buyers, around 70% will not move to repeat buyers. And only repeat buyers tend to have a single cohesion, and then they tend to into lapsed, get into lapse. So the idea is how we solve this non-buyer to buyer problem, and how we solve this one-time buyer to repeat buyer problem, how we solve repeat buyer to recurring buyer problem, and last is how we solve the lapsed buyer problem. So that's a four solution, and all the features, like all the tech or any shiny objects or everything across the board, be it community, be it post purchase surveys, be it like a loyalty program, subscription program, zero party data. Everything falls under this framework. So this is like a broad how your customer interacts with the brand. So this is mainly from a customer journey. And once we have that customer journey sorted, then we need to finalize what will be our strategy to get that desired behavior. So it can be around loyalty. So you don't need everything in this. It might be just to do with the loyalty, it might just be to do with the referral program, or it might just to do with the cross sell upsell. So that's the whole idea, that centralize the strategy. Don't move strategy to the email marketing or SMS or paid marketing. Centralize needs to be, the strategy needs to be thought think over thought over at the product, at the brand level and at the centralized customer level. And it doesn't needs to be like, if you think from a channel perspective, then it like restricts the vision. So it restricts the vision, and it's like gives a lot of I don't say false data, but like it will give you a limited view. So the idea is that centralized strategy across the this channels, and think about the customer from a customer journey perspective, that if someone is just visiting on the website, what's their emotion? If someone has just purchased an order, like placed an order, so what's their emotional stage, what kind of message we need, what kind of confirmation we need. So everything revolves around that. So jumping on to the funnel. So funnel, in this funnel we start, we look at the like a homepage. So this is basically like so this is too simplistic view of the customer journey, but that's the requirement or like limitation of the tools. But that's how we will interpret the journey in the terms of like homepage, category page, product page, cart page, checkout page, success. So that's the journey. But it's a simplistic view because nobody will walk in the linear fashion. So customer might come from here and like go to product page, to category, to cart, to like back to category page. So it can be jumbled up, but the idea is that if they have not moved deeper into the funnel, then definitely there is a reason. Like if they have not started a checkout, then definitely there is a something at play which is not regular, or which is not common compared to if they have not moved to like view product page, or if they have not added anything to cart, then there is a completely different psychology compared to someone who have started the checkout page, checkout process. So that's the idea. So this is the simplistic view. Now what we need to get into our non-buyer, this thing is to target them separately, and what we need is more about what kind of psychology or what kind of messaging resonates with this kind of a audience. So that's the whole idea in this. And if we go, just to, yeah, so next is like how we move for to that. So in this once we look at like that, what's the stage of the user, and then we get what's the goal of the user, so what kind of messaging will resonate with kind of user. So the first is the welcome. So welcome is very common and like most discussed about, but how we approach, and we have seen like success with welcome. And welcome is very important to convert non-buyers, because uh, everyone who visits the website will have a chance on the website. Like it's not that site or landing page will not have, they will have a far greater impact than the email marketing. But still, whosoever is not converted from the landing page, then the role or the job falls on the remarketing campaigns or email marketing. So in that sense, like if someone is at the welcome, so what kind of messaging is we are supposed to do? And for the welcome audience, what's the like the pitch? So the pitch is mostly like introduction to the brand, but also create urgency about the first order. And the knowledge is like if someone visits the brand or like interacting the brands for the first time, so they need to know what you stand for, what what's in it for me, like a benefit sort of a way. And third is like can I trust you? Can I trust you can be led up from a like a certification, can be from a social proof, but they are. And fourth is like a coupon code or anything like that. But like that's the four things which we need to cover. But eventually I will not go into the design side of things, but basically the idea is that how we approach the different stages of the user. So that's the main focus. And for the welcome, and this message can be applicable on the website also, it can be applied your in your paid marketing as well, or in any other channel. So it's just like at what stage what kind of message will work for the user. So if someone at the welcome, in the welcome journey, so the idea is to focus more on the introduction to the brand, the benefits, what's in it for the user, what's our USPs, why we are different, and then like the whole this thing like about the trust part, the social proof, the certification, everything, and then the coupon code. If someone goes to the like browse part, so browse is window shopping. So if someone is looking at the product page, so product page, and they are just keep on viewing the product page, and it's typically the behavior is that nobody looks at a single product page. So customer in a journey, or a serious customer, like not any everyone, so people even bounce, but for a serious user or like a regular user, it might take like 20 pages before finalizing. So they will visit the website, they will go to this page, that page, and that's what we call window shopper in the offline sense. So window shopper is just like looking and like just browsing through the catalog, he will not commit it. So the idea is that during that time, so on the page, same goes for your emails, same goes for your product page. It's more about the recommendation, less about the hard sell. So less about that this is good for you, or why, what are our benefits, or what are our policies. The main idea is that it's more about like we have this also, we have that also, we have like these options. So it's more about because the customer has not finalized on anything, like he's just looking around or she's looking around. So the idea is to give more options, and we will not try to like a limit during this time. The idea is to open up the catalog, so like a same category, it can be like a different categories, it can be like some kind of a trust, and other things can also be added up, but like 80% or like the majority of the discussion would be around creating that window shopping and more recommendation or more options kind of a this thing. Cart is second. So cart is once someone views from a product page, they move to cart. So typically the behavior is that they will start adding up like 4 5 products in the cart. So cart for most of the brands, or like so the common behavior is that cart becomes like save for later, or like a heart like wish list kind of a thing. So instead of using those features, people just add to the cart and like add 4 5 products to the cart. So the idea is in cart, they have finalized something, but they have not zeroed in on the product. So they have shortlisted like 5 6 products, but have not still finalized. So that's the behavior in the terms of psychology. In terms of communication, they will start asking about the policies a little bit, like about that what's the return, what's the delivery, but and it might impact, because if they have 2 products in the cart and one takes like 5 days, one takes like 10 days to deliver, so they will eventually go for 5 days, rest being same. But uh, so the policy start to make a difference during that stage. And or the refund policy. So if the refund policy is like try and buy, so they might add like 3 products and then take everything and like return the 2 products back. So it totally depends. Start depending on the kind of policies and kind of messaging we have on the brand. But and same for the recommendation, that once they have shortlisted, they will not change the product, and it's not advisable also. But what we can push is more like a hard like a cross sell, like a small ticket item, or like a 10 to 20% kind of a discount item, which like a ticket size item. So if they have $100 worth of products in their cart, so recommend something like a $10 or $20 kind of item, and which can be taken up by the customer. So that's the next stage. So we started from the home page, then we taken the customer to the product page, window shopper to shortlisting. Shortlisting, they have done their shortlisting, like add to cart. Now checkout. So checkout, after shortlisting, what happens during checkout cart page is that either they will delete the rest, or they will like mark rest as save for later, and then they move forward. So checkout is the area where the whole hard sell comes into the picture. So it's more about hard sell. It's not about less about the options. It's less about that we have this, we have that. That's not the focus, because otherwise it will dilute the whole message. The idea is to pitch aggressively, pitch on the same product. So we never recommend like anything on the checkout, maybe like on the fourth day or fifth day. But in the like a first day or like second day, it's always about like that this is your product, this is our policy, and then you start playing around the like discounts, buy now save later, buy now pay later, or like return policies, and like if you want, you can contact us. If you want, you can reach out us on WhatsApp or like customer support or anything like that. But the idea is to select like keep the product selection limited and focus more on the trust areas, and keep the typically simple words is more like a hard sell, but not hard sell like a hard sell like a sleazy sell. The idea is to push it aggressively instead of confusing the user. So that's the goal. And in that time, it's more about policies, more about trust, more about this, because selection has already been done. So nobody goes to the checkout page with their like information and everything, and like abandons the gateway if they are not interested in buying, or if they, and they always abandon due to some issues or some kind of a like a objection. And then what can happen is that you can reach them out on like you on email with zero party data, that why you left your cart or why you left your abandonment. And you can like their objections, their price objections or quality objections, or like does it work, does it not work, and this. And trust always works. So that's the typical stage or journey of the user. So basically, to convert non-buyer into the ecosystem, it's the idea is that we start at the home, then category, but at the view is more like a window shopping kind of a range. Then it's more like shortlisting, then hard sell, checkout, and then the purchase happens. So that's the journey of a non-buyer. And typically the communication on the website, in your paid marketing or in email marketing, needs to be aligned accordingly. So if they are aligned accordingly, then it works really well for the brand. Next is converted labs non-buyer. So this is also important segment, because uh, like idea is that everyone will move forward in a funnel, and we will like try to like narrow it down and try to get the sales from the finalized or like the focused or like user. But around 95% of the audience will not buy in that scenario, and eventually they will land up somewhere on your list, or in your CRM system, or you're in your Facebook marketing pixels and everywhere. So those are people who are non-buyers, but they are a a cost to the business. So cost to the business in that sense, like now they exist in your system and they have not given you anything, or like and haven't purchased. So it's a negative ROI, which is like sitting on your marketing channels. And now how we handle that? So the idea is that most of the common issue is that people go very aggressive with the buyers, and very like a one time nudge for the non buyers, which where the opposite needs to be true, because you need to be very aggressive with your non buyers, because they are a cost to the system. Like they are a cost to the email system, they are like polluting your Facebook data, they are every click you waste on them, or everything you waste on them is a wastage eventually, like if they haven't bought. So and not wastage in the terms wastage, but like the idea is that it's not ROI positive. So what we need is to go aggressively after them. And with the customers, we need to create trust, create like value, create like show the usage, show the benefits and all those things. And buyers tend to have like higher like attention span from you, because they are more willing to listen to you because they have just purchased. So they will be more interested. But for these users like non-buyers, it needs to go very aggressively for them, like to chase them, or at least to either get them converted or remove them. So that's the whole idea. And in that, we how we play is around we start with the segmented part. So one is like once you have the list of this, and in any account it's mostly like 30-40% of the audience is like, or 50% of the audience is always non-bias. And sometimes if the brand have run like a giveaway or contest, then tend to be around 70% of the list is non-buyer, non-buyers who has never purchased anything. So the idea is to uh, either we create a like a segmented campaign approach. So what's the segmented campaign? So segmented campaigns is regular campaigns which is going to everyone. So suppose you have a like a Easter sale. So sale will go to everyone, and you are running like a 15% off on Easter sale. So 15% off Easter sale will go to everyone. But for non buyers, because we have their data and we know that they haven't purchased anything. So instead of 15%, we can, and they already have like 10% from their first purchase or something like that. So what we can do, sorry, we can bump it up to like 20% or 25%. It doesn't needs to be that it's like a complete this thing, like you make it 25, but at least bump up that offer, because we know that these are our welcome audience, or users who have not purchased. So to get them converted, we can give them something extra. And how that works, segmented campaigns, that is, if we sending like 15% to everyone, so we just exclude our non-buyers from the Easter campaign, and we just add a separate campaign or create a separate campaign for our segmented audience with including their welcome offer. So that's a like a low effort activity which can be done repeatedly for a welcome audience. So every campaign, every message should have like a kind of a welcome offer, or like whatever offer we have like for the first time purchase. But idea is to have go after them aggressively and keep them reminding them about the offer available to them. So it tend to be like a welcome offer. Second is the like bestseller. So for new users, the best product or best product conversion or the best conversion rate will come from the bestsellers, because bestsellers is like bestsellers for a reason, and they are your best products on the store, and also they are like a resonating well with the audience. So the idea is to for non-buyers, we rarely push new arrival or anything else. It's always that these are the best seller, these are the best what we have in our store, and we push that best to the users. So this is our deal on best sellers. Free shipping can also be pushed up, but the idea is to create a segmented campaigns, create a different campaigns compared to your regular campaigns, and send to your non-buyers audience. Second is like placement. So for these segmented campaigns, because this was just a minor tweak on the existing campaigns, so we just can need to add like a header strip or some kind of a copy, some kind of a footer, but just a minor change, so it doesn't push too much pressure on the ops also, but we are able to treat them separately like non-buyers, and idea is to go aggressively after non-buyers. Second is like your dedicated campaigns. So dedicated can also be done depending on the volume and the size, but at least your flash sales tend to work really well. Bestseller we have discussed. Low ticket. So low ticket is also that if someone has not purchased anything and your average order value is like $50, so they will not, like they can, but most likely they will not go for like $60 kind of a thing. So idea is to push like your low ticket items toward your non-buyers. So if your average is like 50, so you try to get because the idea is to either remove them or at least get like 10 is not viable, but I would say like a $30 item or like a $40 item if your average order value is $50, and the idea is to get them to buy. So at least we get a repeat customer, like a existing customer, and once they become a buyer, then we can always pitch like a big items or like high ticket, and also they will also see the value. So the second is that from a marketing, our role is done, so to say, we got the sale and we got the user in the ecosystem. Now it's more to the retention side of things, or the product value or product solution, or like the product quality will speaks for itself, but or the whole experience. But the first idea is to get the first sale. So in that sense, low ticket size accessories is a good this thing. Giveaway contest is little bit dicey because these people have not committed anything, but still if we say like a freeloader kind of a thing, so we can push like a giveaway contest or this thing, but it tend to invite those kind of audiences which is not might not convert in the future. So at least if you have, so at least so the idea is to play that if we are not getting a sale, so at least get a share from them, or at least they are not able to help us on this, so at least they might be able to help us on the social amplifying the social reach or anything like that. But because of the commitment level, it's a like unlikely strategy, but still we have done it for some of the brands. It's worked sometimes, but like giveaway tend to be like a low ticket commitment for these kind of users. Second is like a review, because if they're not buying, so it's mostly to do with something is lacking somewhere. So it's not like there is a reason or there is an objection which is not being solved. So either focus on like reviews, or focus on like a trust, building the more trust, or like a showcase your best case, or yeah, mostly to focus on the building the trust. And trust can be built one way is reviews, but other ways are like certification, other ways is like video testimonials, other ways is more around like your ingredients or like your process. You can create trust using your showcasing your team members or your factories or like your unit and like your story. So you can so it's mostly about like how the customer will connect with your brand. And in that coming to the automation for non-biased labs is where we have seen good success is welcome flow extended. So typically and this is really important because most of the brands run like a 5 to 6 emails or like even 3 to 4 emails welcome flow, and that will last like a 10 day. So for a user who came on the website, given his email address and left, so we are reaching out for 10 days or like even like 4 5 days. Then there is no communication from our side, and that tend to be a challenge. And then the whole focus shifts on the buyer or like a repeat buyer, and they get like more emails than required. And the person who wants to know more, he is not on the fence. He's on the fence, he's not getting that many emails. So the idea is to extend the welcome flow. So sometimes we do welcome flow after 30 days, after 60 days of registration. Or what you can do is like you can just clone the existing welcome flow and like move it back 30 days down the line, or like 90 days down the line. But the idea is to keep repeating the message, because if they have bought, they will eventually get out of welcome flow. But if they have not bought, the idea is to go aggressively. And it's also email gets like 30 to 40% or 50%, like welcome will get higher, but like a 50 to 60% kind of open rate. That means like still one in every two person have not seen your emails. If you repeat your welcome flow, then it's always helpful. Or like if even if you repeat the emails, I'm saying like do a good emails or good and new emails. But if you want, you can use the same and like change the few things around here. But the idea is to elongate the journey. Like SaaS companies do a very good job of this. And like if you subscribe to any emails from Dropbox or Slack or like any other SaaS tools, they will send emails like I think 6 months down the line, and they will keep you educating about the tool, about this feature, that feature. They will slow down the speed like once a week, but they will still keep on sending you like 6 months down the line that this is our how you use our products. So that's the whole idea, that if someone is not buying, so either we educate them, we nurture them, we inspire them to buy, or we eventually remove them. And then where the sunset comes into the picture, that if they're not converting, then we remove them. Browse, cart, checkout, we have already discussed. But that's also part of that non-buyer journey, that from this to window shopper to shortlisting to finalizing the product and then the purchase. So that's the journey for non-buyer. And additional can be around SMS, additional can be on the flash sale. So this is yeah, so this is our framework, and this ties up back to the your customer value maximization framework, where this step, if we do all these things like these automations, these kind of messaging, and these the messaging and offers broadly for these audiences, so at least we will get like non-buyer to buyer kind of the first step. So first step of this like your non-buyer will be solved. Once this is there, so we will push more people down the funnel like in your one time buyer, and that's a tricky point in itself. So that will be a topic for next week. But so that's the idea, that once this is done, then we think about one time buyers. So one time buyers will also have your user generated, your cross sell, upsell, and everything around that, and then repeat, then labs. And that will tie up back to our like the whole PCC framework, which is like product, customer, and communication. And what we are currently breaking down or in this webinar or in the upcoming webinars will be the journey from single non-buyer to a eventually lapsed buyer or eventually recurring customers. So that's the process. And cool, thank you for watching. And I just wanted to say about what we do for e-commerce brands. So our promise is like that we will increase your customer lifetime value by 10 to 30% in next 30 days, and we have done it for multiple brands. And it's also from the average order value perspective, it's also from the repeat value, it's also on the first purchase, because like you have seen in this webinar also, the framework works for the first purchase as well. And we take the first purchase seriously as well. Like it's not that it's only CLV, so we will only talk about like everything repeat. It's also the retention starts with acquisition or the first purchase. So we will position the first purchase also like a profitable purchase, and how we structure the subsequent purchase. So that's the whole idea. And it just starts with like a 45 minutes consultation, and we'll get on a call and we will discuss and walk you through our framework, and create a plan for your individual brands. So cool. So thanks, and get in touch for if anyone needs help with their customer lifetime value. And we have worked with like multiple brands. And thank you. Thank you. So cool. Hopefully this was helpful, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.